All right. Here we go, y'all. Get them started. All right. Hey, brother. Let's get them started. There's the theme music. What's up, bro? What's up, Ali? All right. Okay. Yep. Those of us that know we do so because change the pressure. Oh. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to WHGE 95.3 FM. This is The Open Eye with your third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. Yes, indeed, ready to get them started. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, D5 Ali? All right. Past few weeks, I've been starting off with some history. And of course, I don't so much dwell on our history of slavery, because slavery interrupted our history. Okay, our history did not start with slavery, contrary to white supremacist propaganda. Last week, I told you about Nigerian physician, Dr. Oluyinka Olutoye, who cut a woman's baby out of her womb at 23 weeks, successfully operated on the baby after taking out a tumor, then placed the baby back into the mom's womb, and the baby was later delivered healthy and naturally on time at 36 weeks. And that was amazing. What's up, Brother Vaughn? Okay, well, I want to tell you about today, something that I mentioned and glossed over a few weeks ago, and that is the fascinating Ugandan C-sections that predated modern medicine. African medical practitioners ensured the safety of countless women and babies well before it was successfully done in the West. Mothers today are giving birth to healthy bundles thanks to the centuries of experience in healthcare passed down from one generation to the next. As late as the mid-18th century, when Western women relied on life-threatening cesarean to save themselves or their unborn child if vaginal delivery wasn't possible, the vast majority died as a result of the procedure. At the same time, however, midwives in the African countries of Uganda, Tanzania, and the Congo were successfully helping women deliver babies through C-sections and survive the operation. It's thanks to the extremely detailed, not for the squeamish among us, yet fascinating account of one such delivery documented by Robert Falcon, a medical missionary who went to Uganda in 1878 with the Church Mission Society, that the Western world learned how Africans had been successfully delivering healthy babies. And according to Vivian Kobe, oh boy, that's the name, Kobu Siga. Okay, I'm gonna leave that middle name out. Kervin Bitchall, a TV producer who also teaches African history and culture. This sort of procedure was centuries old and is still carried out today in rural parts of sub-Saharan Africa. According to Bitchall, the cesarean witnessed by Falcon was just an everyday practice in the Banyoro kingdom in Western Uganda. Carried out by an expert male practitioner and his male assistants, the mother-to-be would be strapped down to a bed and given banana wine to act as an anesthetic. It would also be used as an antiseptic, something that the Europeans didn't do for, much, much later. After the Civil War, as a matter of fact, not even during the Civil War, okay? There was no antiseptic. They might pour a little brandy on you or something. But anyway, held down by the assistants, the woman was then operated on, using rudimentary tools such as a red hot iron to carefully cauterize wounds and metal spikes to close the incision. The practitioner could safely ensure the success of the operation. Through Falcon's notes, we can see just how careful the practitioner was in his treatment of the uterus during and after delivery, helping to prevent any excess blood loss and future infection. Yet perhaps it is the treatment of the wound once it was closed that seemed the most incredible. Thanks to the combination of 2 chewed roots, a touch of spit, and a banana leaf, the wound healed beautifully. And when Falcon left the woman 11 days post-delivery, she and her child were recovering well. The only issue Falcon witnessed was that the mother's milk supply was initially limited. This was apparently quite common, so women from the village would help feed the baby until the mother's milk became more abundant. Falcon relayed his findings at a lecture for the Edinburgh obstetrical, y'all know what I mean, Society in 1884. And while we don't know to what extent his report influenced the future of cesareans in the Western world, his finding must have been an eye-opener to physicians who only started using antiseptics in 1867. That's what I said, after the Civil War. Thankfully, modern day C-section is not quite as harrowing as it must have been for the poor mothers-to-be who were strapped to their beds, intoxicated with banana wine. Yet the procedure was a true success story and using what God had provided to make sure both mother and child were safe. Now that's our history. And don't think that because this European doctor saw that for the first time, that this had not been going on for centuries, probably even millennia. You have to remember that surgery was invented in ancient Kemet. The surgical instruments that are now used, okay, are directly copied from the surgical instruments invented by Imhotep, the true father of scientific medicine. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is The Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM.
The views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are
What's up, on Brother Mitchell?
And do not reflect the policy or
hey, Bessie, how you doing? All right.
Nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM, your Open Eye, optometrist right here. Guys. Yeah. Okay. There's a guy by the name of Eli. What is his last name? Man. I can't think of his last name. Eli. Dang, that's a shame. At any rate, this brother had wrote a book about the Constitution. This cat, I'm gonna find his name, and when I do, I want you to really take close attention to this brother because he is bringing it. One of the things he said, of course, you know, CRT is real controversial for white people right now. Okay, and of course, they're putting out a lot of misinformation and what have you. Basically, what they're doing is they're using CRT to stymie any teaching of true American history, especially American history as it involves Black people and how Black people were oppressed by white people. They don't want that out there for nothing. Basically, what they have done, anything to do with Black people, Black history, our struggle, the oppression that we suffered, or what have you, they relate to CRT. And of course, CRT, critical race theory, is not taught in grades K through 12. Matter of fact, it's not even taught. It's a graduate student course. Okay, critical race theory is the theory that dictates that systemic racism is a fact in America. And it is, of course. Okay. Now, what these white supremacists have done is basically CRT has become code word amongst them for anti-Black. Anything CRT, they're against. It's almost code word for the N-word. Okay, it's a dog whistle. It has become a dog whistle. Don't let them take the meaning of something that should be studied. And what they're doing basically is they're using CRT as an excuse to shut down, like I said, any discussion of American history as it relates to the African in America. Mm-hmm. Basically, what CRT is, what anti-CRT is white people making sure that their children are dumb. That's what it is. It's making sure that their children are dumb. These children are going to go to college and get out of high school. Okay. They're going to get out of high school, graduate from high school. I don't know how in the hell they're going to do it, but of course it'll be based on the curriculum dictated by the anti-CRT white supremacists. Okay, and they're going to go into college or apply for college, knowing nothing about Stokely Carmichael, having no idea who Denmark DC is, having no understanding of the horrors of Jim Crow and slavery. Ever heard of Tulsa? They won't know nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And then your dumbass kids are going to be crying the blues about affirmative action in college because they couldn't pass the damn entrance exam. And then they're going to blame affirmative action and say that Black person got my slot. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That's what some white person whose parents had sense enough to expose their children to true history and get them a real education got the slot that your dumbass couldn't get. See, it's no accident that you learned about Helen Keller instead of W.E.B. Du Bois. It's no accident you learned about the Watts and L.A. riots, but not Tulsa or Wilmington, North Carolina. It's no accident that you learned George Washington's dentures were made from wood rather than the teeth of slaves. That's right. George Washington's teeth were not made of wood. George Washington's white overseers will hold slaves down, and they had no anesthetic, and pull out some of their teeth so they can make George Washington some teeth. Oh, boy, what a bastard. It's no accident you learned about black ghettos, but not Black Wall Street. It's no accident you learned about the New Deal, but not redlining. It's no accident you learned about Tommy Smith's fist in the air at the 1968 Olympics, but not that he was sent home the next day and stripped of his medals. It's no accident you learned about black crime, but white criminals were never lumped together and discussed in terms of their race. And I get so sick and tired of black people adopting the racist term black on black crime. I don't know how many black people I haven't seen get up there. Well, we got a lot of nerve to complain about, what white people are doing to us as long as there's black on black crime. It's a made up concept to distract you from dealing with the reality of the oppression that white people placed on us. It's a distraction. When black people say black on black crime, you're giving a pass to the racist slave patrollers that are the police that commit police brutality on our people. It's no accident you learned about states' rights as a cause of the Civil War, but not that slavery was mentioned 80 times in the Articles of Secession. 80 times. The lost cause, I didn't say a baseless theory, best way to put it probably, promoted by the Daughters of the Confederate, dictates that it was about states' rights and that the Confederate was fighting an honorable war for their right to control their own state. What they were fighting for, as they said themselves, succession, in the succession article, slavery was mentioned 80 times at least. It's no accident that privilege is having history rewritten so that you don't have to acknowledge uncomfortable facts. Racism is perpetrated by people who refuse to learn or acknowledge this history. You have a choice. You absolutely have a choice to learn and research for yourself. And if you're walking around with a cell phone, you have a handheld computer, and there's no excuse for you not to be aware of the realities of our history. No excuse whatsoever. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is The Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. All right. Oh yeah, I'm still with you now. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. Yes, the following Open Eye today will be at 1 o'clock will be Thomas. Stay tuned. Following Thomas will be Rochelle, would make some intelligent noise. Rochelle Wilson, the host of that. Okay, hey, can anyone explain this to me? I'm sure I mentioned this last week, but Leah Thomas was born a biological man. He didn't so-called transition into a woman until he was 21. 21. That's when he transitioned to a woman. This cat is, this woman is 6'3" or something like that. She now competes with women where he went from being ranked number 462 as a male swimmer to number 1 in women's swimming. Something's unfair here at home. He couldn't make it amongst the men. He couldn't compete at all. Ranked number 462. That's pretty low in the pecking order. To being number 1 in women's swimming. 6'3", muscular, full of testosterone. Big surprise that he outswam women. Now meet Caster Semenya. She's 31, born a biological woman from South Africa. Born a biological woman. She was recently denied the chance to compete in the Tokyo Olympics because she's said to be too mannish. But they allowed Leah Thomas, who was born a biological man, who so-called transitioned into a woman. He's still 6'3", with great big ass shoulders. They wanted her to take medicine. They wanted Caster Semenya to take medicine to lower her naturally gifted testosterone. Since he refused, this woman, born a biological woman, was not allowed to compete with other women. You can't make this stuff up. White supremacy is such a convoluted, confused practice that they come up with dumb mess like this. Well, we can't deny Leah Thomas, who has transitioned into a woman, the right to compete amongst the women, because that would be, transphobia. That would be transphobia. We can't do that. But this black woman with natural abilities is being told she has to take some medicine to tamp down her physical prowess. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Venus and Serena Williams when they started kicking ass in tennis. When they started kicking, hey, what's up, Shane? When they started kicking ass in tennis, they were well-formed, very physically fit, and very strong because they worked out and they prepared for the competition. And you had the white commentator saying it's just unfair how powerful they are, paying absolutely no attention to their cunning and skill on the tennis court. Because both Venus and Serena were very cunning players. Not just powerful, they were very cunning, very smart players. A lot of times they didn't overpower their opponents, they just outsmarted them, outplayed them. When you had fools in the Black community, saying Venus and Serena weren't attractive and were managed. You two very gorgeous women, very well-built women. You'd be hard-pressed to find somebody sexier in sports than Serena. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is the Open Eye, WHGE 95.3 FM, the advocacy station. Oh, yo, what's up, brother? All right, y'all. My brother Nsoromma is in the house. Man. What, this morning? Oh, yeah, I heard that. I heard that. Oh, the mercy. Give us a minute, y'all. Nsoromma getting it together over here, getting set up. We'll be right with you. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. Nsoromma by Nsoromma, right here on WHGE 95.3. Joining me on the air is my partner in consciousness, Brother Nsoromma, intellectual surgeon. Good morning, brother.
Good morning, brother.
Chop. How you doing?
Hello, world. Yaga!
All right. Nsoromma said he heard me
I
on the way
was
in.
bagging up when I was coming here. I was laughing so hard, man. Oh, my God. Especially when you was talking about the swimmer dude. He beat the girl out. You know what I mean? You was talking about you switch to his shoulder. Oh, I cried, yeah.
Big ass shoulder. 6'3".
I was like, I wasn't here to be hitting my boom. I know the shoes going, yo. What you in there? What's good, world? Everything's good, man.
Everything. You know, I gotta hit this off, and I know I hit it off before.
Right.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna mention to you about the Jesus deception and some spirituality we talk about I often do.
Right.
When the pagan Roman Emperor Constantine created Christianity in 325 AD, yes, I know some of you Christians ain't gonna like this.
They don't never like nothing anyway.
Yeah, how about that? There was an African leader born in Libya named Arius, known as Arius the Libyan. As I told you before, if you look him up, he'll be listed as Arius the heretic, because of course, you know, white supremacy dictates, you know, history right now until we tell our own story.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And Arius was strongly opposed to the teaching of Jesus the Messiah as being a total Roman falsehood. Arius was a leader and practitioner of the earlier original African spiritual system from which Christianity is a distorted perversion of. The dispute between the Romans and Arius is known as the Arian controversy. The Roman authorities shut Arius down and threatened him with death to keep his mouth shut. What Arius did once he got the hell out of there, and he still kept telling the truth to people. Okay, they ordered all books burned, destroying all ancient writings, no evidence, no argument. And the outcome was the transformation from Serapis Christus, which means Christ the Savior. Christ is not the last name of Jesus. Christ is a title that means the anointed one. Okay? And that was changed to, like I said, from Serapis, who was a Greek, to Jesus Christ by the edict of Constantine in 325 AD when Christianity was invented. Let me tell y'all something. Divine order dictates that you are a manifestation of God. You were born into this world knowing what you are. No one has to teach an apple to be an apple. Religion has confused you into believing you need to find God in a book. The Savior you seek is within. You are that Savior. You are divine by nature. Remember what I always tell you, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You know, most non-religious people wouldn't have a problem with religion. It was something benign and privately practiced, instead of something weaponized to oppress people, justify harmful beliefs and rituals, proselytize and convert and infiltrate government. Because that's what they're doing right now. It's this movement called nationalist Christianity. Okay, all that is just another name for the KKK and white supremacy. Don't get it mixed. That's why I understand how anyone that knows anything about our history, don't take my word for it, do your research. You are aware that you are of the same religion as the KKK. The hell's wrong with y'all?
I mean, that's all the manipulation. You know what I'm saying? That's all. This is what they plan for. This is they're not doing the wrong thing. It's set up as a structure, and the structure is just being fulfilled.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have to structure our own thing. That's what it's about. We got to structure our own. We know we don't look like the Jesus Christ that they got hanging up on the cross. You know? So why do we think we should be the ones following that?
That's what
you know what I mean?
Right.
So how can I won't eat from the same table my oppressor is feeding me. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even play that game.
I heard that, brother.
You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. I certainly do.
We gotta have more warriors in our community.
Yeah.
And lawyers and financial advisors. You know what I mean? And job opportunities. We gotta make some of our older people, such as myself, that we need businesses and to try to help these kids and people that need help by giving them jobs.
Right.
By creating jobs in our own community.
That's
they
right.
They won't even let us do that.
No.
They won't even give us no property in our own community to progress our community. Yeah, they'll let a stranger come in and do it all day. But when you go up there and say, yo, I want to get this building and do this for this, so it's a problem. It's always some red tape. It's always. That's what stops the black people right now is the red tape, which is white tape. You understand? So we got to understand what's going on. Once you do, you won't even want to participate or be part of it or nothing.
That's right.
That's what it's about. Self. You gotta provide for self.
Y'all hear that? Did you hear what Nsoromma said? Did you hear what he said? Hampton University, who is offering free tuition to Ukraine students.
To them, they didn't never do that throughout history to none of our people.
Man.
We was the most treated in the history of people being treated.
Being mistreated.
No one ever reached out, and we're still being mistreated right now.
Right now.
So when are you gonna go get armed up? Because George Washington said every free people have the right to bear arms
and defend themselves. That's right.
Against anybody that abuses their name and their honor. You don't think they did that to us?
Big time.
And then it said you have the right to get as much ammunition and as much firepower as you need.
That's right.
To defend yourself from those people and the government, your own government.
Your own government.
So you got to understand, this is the first president saying that. So if you ain't gonna get on board to go get yourself ready for this war that's about to go down, and it be us being attacked even more, we already at war, you know? So we have to prepare not only just to take care of our kids, but to survive.
That's right.
As a people.
Yeah.
And not be back into this slave thing, because that's what they trying to do. If they bring it back, it ain't gonna be me.
I heard that, bro.
You know, it can be somebody else, because I'd rather die than be a slave.
I heard that.
You understand?
Yes,
even though I'm a slave right now to this governmental clocking at 8 o'clock, get off at 5:30, you know, to make your society work. But that's all in the community and the people in the world. Being as one for real.
Well, you know, it's being that we're victims of capitalism. And capitalism is basically slavery by consent. Okay, until we can change the system, that's what it is.
Right.
Now let's get back to Hampton. Hampton University offers free tuition to Ukrainian students. Did y'all not watch the Ukrainians who are under attack that had time enough to be racist?
Right. Get off the train type of stuff. I mean, they look over that.
Yeah.
I mean, just like what about the judge?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
You can see.
But go ahead with that.
You can see plainly the racist acts that is being stowed upon us. You know what I mean? And it's real.
That's right. Now, according to University President Dr. William R. Harvey, 50 to 100 students who are currently exposed to the dangers in Ukraine will be able to attend Hampton free of charge. The announcement came as the student crisis has disproportionately affected Black college students, including and especially those attending HBCUs. Okay? The crazy is that these students and plenty of Black students who would love to attend the HBCU are not being offered that opportunity by other HBCUs, including Hampton. Okay? Now here's the other crazy is, what's the number? How many what do you call it? Ukrainians have been invited to come to the country? 100,000.
Yeah, and he open up the borders to them, whatever hell man said.
100,000.
Wow.
100,000 neo-Nazi Ukrainians are being welcomed into America. And where do you think they're going?
And they're giving them something like a couple $2 billion or something, ain't it?
$13.6 billion.
Wow.
To help the Ukrainians. Okay. Are they crazy?
But we got privatized community here.
Yeah. You know,
all over America, but they got money to do that.
They have money to do that.
I mean, that's just the corruptness in the government.
And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh.
And they won't let a good, fair person get in there, like the Judge Jackson. You know,
right?
They try to do everything in their power to make her look bad, talk about stuff that ain't have nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
You know?
She's for pedophilia.
Yeah. I mean,
she's soft on crime.
They create a picture. If you on point and you doing what you're supposed to do, they can't create a picture, and that's what they couldn't do.
Right.
That's what I liked about it. They couldn't create a picture about Obama. He didn't have no scandals or nothing like that.
No drama.
If he did, they would have.
You know what I'm saying?
And they would pump it.
That's right.
So, I mean, long as you play your position and you're doing right, you as a Black person, you will and can succeed. So don't give up.
That's
Keep
right.
doing what you do.
Even though we have to do 10 times better than them
right.
just to be on the even playing field.
Right.
Because, and here's a prime example of that. Okay? What's that Hussey's name? Jenny Thomas. That's Clarence Thomas' wife.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Jenny Thomas. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She was a major participant in January 6th. She was at the rally, and she was sending text after text to, what's his name? To the Arch Disasters Chief of Staff, or whoever the hell he is. Okay? Mark Meadows.
Oh, okay.
Mark Meadows. He was White House Chief of Staff under, and she was pressing him to overturn the election. This is the Supreme Court Justice wife,
right,
participating in an attempt to overthrow the government. And then when the January 6th committee said Trump had to turn over his papers, there was one dissenting vote from the Supreme Court on that decision. That one dissenting vote was the Jenny Thomas influenced Clarence Thomas. He needs to be kicked off of the Supreme Court because his wife is a traitor to the country. And he supported her. Therefore, his sorry ass is a traitor to the country. Wake up, y'all. And now, the January 6th committee, whatever they are, they seem to be slowing down on prosecuting.
Yeah, because they're all white.
Yeah.
They mostly white people. They're not going to get prosecuted like if it was black people. If black people came, they wouldn't even let them get to the sidewalk. And it could have been a peaceful rally. Nobody doing nothing than just standing around just talking and,
Yeah.
And gathering.
Because you remember when Black Lives Matter was in D.C., they turned out in riot gear, bulletproof vests. Look, these people weren't carrying guns.
Right.
They were carrying water bottles and what are they gonna throw a cup of water on you and you're gonna shoot them for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they shot them with rubber bullets for nothing.
And them rubber bullets, they're shooting people in the eye and them rubber bullets is like real bullets. They will go in you.
That's right.
And they will hurt you very bad. Yeah.
Big time. That's what
something coming at you 1,300 miles an hour and it hits you. Yes, you're going to be hurt.
It's going to break your skin.
Yeah.
You believe that. Now, when the January 6th insurrection was taking place, where was the National Guard? Where was the militarized police? Where was the Army?
They got the call. They got the call.
They got the call.
And when you get the call, it comes from upstairs. Did you ever see that thing that the boy that don't like people to touch you? Howie Mandel show yet?
Oh, yeah.
The deal. Deal or no deal.
Yeah.
And the boy call from upstairs. Hey, yo, don't nobody move. Everybody staying down. Staying down. Click. And that's the call they got. Who they get it from? Trump. I don't know. They had to be from upstairs.
Yeah.
Who's upstairs that can make a phone call to chill everybody out? Nobody came. The Air Force, the local police, the security of the property. Nobody came to that. Nobody.
How about that?
Yeah, think about
it. Yeah, buddy.
And now they don't even want to get they don't even want to prosecute them to the fullest. It's supposed to be death.
Yeah, because that's what treason is. Treason.
Exactly. It's supposed to be death. If it was black people, they'd be dead. Chinese people, Spanish people, any other race, they'll be dead.
And you know what? We're going to talk about any other race in just a minute. WHGE 95.3 FM with Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
All right.
Yeah. Bro, hey yo, Ty, what's up, man? Hey yo, Al, I see you, Al. Hey yo, big up, hey yo, boy, Sean, hey yo, Steve, Mitch, what's good? I see you representing. Hey yo, I dig it, yo. Stay true, for real. Shane, yo, capitalism promotes wage slavery. Oh yeah, wage slavery, most definitely. That's what they do. That's their process.
That's right.
Anita, yo, Will, what's up, hot? Me say.
All right.
Fatima. Aaron, what's happening? Yeah. Boom.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Nsoromma in the house.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Patrice,
Mr. Gibbs.
yes, indeed. The wisest person ever born to Europeans, Socrates, was only a student to Africans. Okay? A philosopher in ancient Kemet said, "You Greeks are perennial infants. Not a single Greek is an elder." Okay? Understand it. There is no such thing as Greek philosophy. They used Egyptian African textbooks by Imhotep, the African genius. That's what they did. Okay? And when the Greeks learned from the Egyptians and took it home, they scared the hell out of the Egyptians. I mean, the hell out of the Greeks. Okay? Just to give you an idea of how the Greeks felt about what their so-called philosophers learned in Africa. When they came home, it was hell to pay. Anaxagoras was imprisoned in exile. Plato was sold into slavery. The so-called discoverer of the theorem of algebra, okay, Pythagoras, was executed. He came home talking that African stuff. They said, "Oh, where'd he get that?" They killed him. Okay?
Right. They don't listen. They don't care if it was their aunt.
That's right.
These savages, they'll kill their mom, their dad, their kids. They'll kill anybody that go against them and what they want to get done.
Right.
Even if it's right or wrong. You know what I mean? If you ain't doing what I say, take his head off.
Take his head off.
Take his head off with his head.
Socrates, their greatest mind, they killed him. They made him drink poison. Okay? And look, these are the ancestors of the same damn people that are trying to dumb down their children by crying out that anything that they learn about Black people is critical race theory. And it's damaging to them. A bunch of damn fools, man.
Now they trying to tell you, I mean, you can't stop an apple from growing.
No.
If it's on an apple tree. So how can they possibly stop or say that you can't ingest a certain thing within your brain?
Yeah.
You know, they try to put a law on that.
Yeah, they're putting a law on
that's how evil and savage they are. They ain't physically savage no more. You ain't seeing the blood. You ain't seeing all the screams and all the famine that is causing and the smell. You ain't seeing all of that. You see what I'm saying? They took and turned it to paper. And when they put it on the paper, now you can't even say some of the things that was going on because it makes us feel bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They even passed a law in Florida.
Really?
That if you teach anything to make a white person feel bad, you can be sued. All right. And that brings me to this. This is a question that has been floating around social media. Okay. Name one period in history when white people were more civilized than everyone else. I'll wait. Yeah. Oh, okay. I remember it was that was Black. Okay. That time when they came, no, that was Black people that came to Europe and civilized them. Was it the no? No, it was actually Black man. Yeah. Eastern. No, that actually came from Black people.
Well, I can't say.
Maybe the better question is, how many times have we had to ask white people to be civil and stop acting a goddamn fool and running around killing people and colonizing people? Okay? How many times have we had to ask white people to be civil? And that's what we're dealing with. Okay? You cannot come up with a time when white people were more civilized than any other people in the world, because it's Never happened.
And it's like, what triggers that savageness in them, it can be a lie. Like it can, like, you know, all of it throughout history shows. Oh, a black guy did this. He didn't even do it. And they go kill and burn down everything that a black person had. But when the white people beat up the black guy in front of the world, 5 cops, and they don't go burn down City Hall, I think we're good people. To the fact that it ain't even a lie. We see this. This is what's happening. This is the proof. And we as a people didn't come to that black person's aid.
That's right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And they do that because you don't have the 700 people that'll go stand out there and surround the whole building and make sure that you treat him okay on deck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's what we need.
Let me sum up what Nsoromma is telling you. If Black Lives Matter, there must be consequences for those that believe otherwise. Okay? Now, let's you know, it's something, of course, we're in Wilmington, Delaware, and Delaware is the home of President Joseph Biden and what have you. And I've heard a lot of black people say that Biden is a friend of black people. And what have, let me tell you something. Jim Crow Joe's pathological disdain for Black America has been clear and present since the very beginning of his political career. He openly denied the very clear and present oppression of Black people. Still doing it. Still doing it. Jim Crow Joe said in 1975, I do not buy the concept popular in the 60s, which said we have suppressed the Black man for 300 years, and now the white man is far ahead for everything our society offers. In order for Black people to catch up, they must be given a head start. I'm not responsible for the sins of my father. That's what Jim Crow Joe said. And then he went on for the next 36 years to directly be responsible for the mass incarceration of Black people, and very proud of this. But y'all called him up to fix things up for our community, huh? Let me tell you something. The doctor that is guilty of malpractice cannot be the surgeon of our progress.
And, you know, the deepness of that is, when you do stuff to good people, the Creator did you. The Creator is taking his mind. He's becoming the dumbest person ever.
Ain't that something?
His Alzheimer's is worse than Alzheimer's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that comes from all the evilness. Like, you can't do things to people and think you're gonna get away with it forever, because it'll come out, because the Creator will bring it out.
Yes,
he'll do things to make you not who you was.
People say that karma is bitch.
Yeah, and that's where it comes from. It comes from the Creator. The karma comes around from the Creator.
Yes, indeed.
And if it takes me to make you lose your mind, okay, you're gonna lose your mind.
But you know what? I don't think karma is so much a bitch as it is an elder who then poured a little poison in your coffee and sat back and watched you suffer from the dirt that you did.
Right.
That's where WHGE 95.3 FM. Dove and I, we coming around to the close. That hour goes fast, y'all.
Yo, what's good? Nice routine. Thanks, Steve. Yo, we just in here, Buggy. You know what we do. Yeah. What's good? Hey, yo, Patrice, what's up? Do what we do, Buggy. Yeah. That's it. Okay, I see you. Good morning. Yeah. Make it happen for real.
Okay, we're coming around to the close of the show, but before we go, let me give you 5 things that you need to hear.
Okay, 5 times.
Number 1, discipline has a better attendance record than inspiration. Number 2, in order to lead the orchestra, You have to turn your back to the audience. Think about what that means. Number 3, being more assertive can help you avoid being resentful. Okay. Today, number 4, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. Okay. Number 5, the final one. You suffer more than necessary when you suffer before it's necessary.
Right, and that's what I see a lot of our people do too. They crash before the plane.
How about
They hit
that?
the ground.
Yep.
Oh God, Lord, and then it was a dream.
Yep. How
You
about
woke
that?
up from a dream and still talking about it.
That's right. You know?
Yeah.
And when you was in that dream, let me tell you something. Don't go to the bathroom. It's a trap.
Yeah. Or step in that puddle.
That's right. That's a trap. Destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority.
Who treat you as an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Okay, we was running. I almost forgot my last line, y'all. I was like listening to him like, okay, I was serious about that. Yo, what's good? It's all good. Hey, yo, say peace.
Hey, Pete. Hope y'all learned something. I'm sure you had a good time, because I know I sure as hell did.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, indeed. And we'll see you next time. And remember, do the research.
Yo, thanks for tuning in. Hey, yo, Nsoromma streaming everywhere. Nsoromma. Go get that. WHGE 95.3. Mr. Gibbs doing his thing once again. Yeah. You know what it is. Saying, yo, big ups. Thanks for the support.